a beautiful evening in Tuscaloosa, Alabama for some postseason soccer. The SEC champs versus the SWAC champs, battling it out to try and keep the season going. Here we go. Here's Felicia Knox. Good ball up ahead to Sarepka. And Alabama already putting the pressure on the Tigers.
Already putting the pressure on, but again, they've got Jackson State has that really tight back line anchored by one of the center backs, Jordan Smith, the freshman, doing work early.
Here's Jessica Skorka. Reyna Reyes. Already a good chance for the Tide. Tanner, ball in, gets through.
And there were so many white jerseys in and around that 18 and hovering around that 6-yard box. Unlucky for Alabama, but great movement early on.
Something we talked about with both coaches, Haley, nerves. It's been a long time since either of these programs have been in a situation like this. For Alabama, the first time ever that they've hosted an NCAA tournament game as a 1 seed, in Jackson State, full of coaches and players who haven't been at this stage.
Yeah, and so as much as it's another game, it's going to be a little nervy. You know, the first 5 to 10 minutes, you're definitely feeling each other out, but there's a lot more at stake, obviously, with this game. But at the end of it, I think the girls, they'll just let their soccer IQ take over, and they're just going to play.
Jackson State trying to possess forward, but not much doing there against the Alabama defense.
Oh, well won there by number 23, Annalise Brunson. Just an absolute workhorse, according to Coach Flogaitis. Just absolutely smashes all the fitness tests and just does so much work.
Maya Joy Thompson looking in, nobody there. Yeah, Annalise Brunson, previously in her career, the SWAC Freshman of the Year, has been all-conference 3 times. The junior from Sugar City, Idaho. She will be the one to watch for the Tigers here tonight. One of the most dangerous forwards that the SWAC has seen the last few seasons.
Absolutely. Another one to watch, number 22, Maya Thompson. Just so much pace outside on that flank. If you give her some space to run, she'll take it.
Only a couple minutes in. Reyes up ahead, looking for Tanner. Riley Tanner has that blocked.
Yeah, Sydney Wilson, again, SWAC Defender of the Year, showing why she is, why she's got that title. She's going to have her hands full. She'll definitely be engaging in those one-on-one battles there with Riley Tanner. She is just such a handful for Alabama.
Here's Skorka. Rogers now. And Rogers has it swiped by Sage Magruder. And a foul called.
Yeah, and that was number 9, Terrell, using her body to try to shield that ball and get the turn on. A little too much body on the ball, but you can see why she is a big physical target for Jackson State. So smart, so versatile. She's going to be another player that could cause some problems for Alabama up top.
Yeah, Terrell listed at 6'2". We'll keep an eye on her as the night progresses.
Oh, great job by Ashlyn Sarepka to keep that ball.
Another chance for Tanner, the South Carolina transfer.
Yeah, through the legs of Brunson.
Tanner still looking, now fires, but it's wide.
Yeah, not a bad look. You know, Jackson State has to get that ball out. They've got to clear it better on that first time, because if you let that ball hang around, one of those Alabama players, whether it's Riley Tanner or Parker or Knox, they are going to hit that ball, and they can hit it from outside that box.
Yeah, that was something we were noticing watching games from earlier today. The teams playing the seeded squads were having trouble clearing the ball, and that led to more chances.
Absolutely. You're leaving nothing on the table with these games.
This is taken away by Magruder, looking up ahead.
Yeah, fancy footwork, great distributor in the middle, good vision.
Maya Joy Thompson. And well defended by the Crimson Tide. There's McKinley Crone, graduate student out of Maitland, Florida, transferred in from Oklahoma. She's had a phenomenal year, a career year for many of these Alabama players, breaking multiple school records during this truly historic season for head coach Wes Hart. Here's Brunson.
Crone looking really comfortable playing with their feet. We're going to see the same thing from Jackson State's goalkeeper, Tiana Taylor. Both goalkeepers give their back line some great options. You know, she was actually a midfielder until the age of 13, so it certainly puts her ball skills above, you know, some of the others. Look to her to be very vocal, giving that outlet pass and being able to really build from the back.
Yeah, there's Taylor, the New Mexico transfer, 2022 SWAC goalkeeper of the year. A lot of award winners out on the pitch tonight, all over the place.
On both sides, yeah. First team, second team, you know, individual honors. It's a pretty esteemed group tonight.
Here's Macy Clem.
Oh, and
good
Brunson,
defense by Brunson.
Yeah, Brunson is just sticking to Tanner like glue.
And a hard tackle there. No whistle blown. Good defense once again by the Tigers as we take a look at all the awards Jackson State hauled in this season.
Yeah, and just like, you know, Coach Hart, Coach Flagaitis also getting Coach of the Year for the SWAC.
Here comes Tanner looking for Parker, but nobody there.
Ayana Pinder, good clearance there, but unfortunately hits the arm of Ashlyn Sarepka.
There you see Rana Reyes, SEC Defensive Player of the Year, 3-time first team all-conference.
I think Alabama took 6 out of the 7 SEC honors, so, you know, really doing well. And again, just accolade upon accolade with this already tremendous season.
Yeah, there you see it right there. So many awards won for the Crimson Tide this season, much deserved. Ranked #1 in some polls, hovering around the top 3 for pretty much the last month and a half in the coaches poll. Beautiful move, chance for the Tide. Here's Knox.
Yeah, unselfish play there by Reyna Reyes. I would have liked to see her take it a little bit more. You know, take it right to that front post.
Now here comes Jackson State on the counter. Thompson. Terrell. And Terrell sends it wide.
Yeah, if Terrell had been a little bit more patient, I think she had some help coming in number 23, Brunson. But if you've watched any of Jackson State's games, you know Terrell can hit it from there, and she can hit an absolute rocket from outside the box. Not her best attempt there, but you know she can hit it.
Jackson State, once again, will look to attack. Ayana Pinder. Here's Knox. And again, well defended by the Tigers. They are not showing many nerves here in the first 10 minutes, Haley.
No, you know, and again, when we were talking with the coaches earlier this week, I really felt like there was a lot of similarities between the styles between Alabama and Jackson State.
Here comes Knox. Nice ball up ahead to Tanner. Here's a look for Alabama. Tanner to Sarepka, and she misses wide.
That was great combination play. You know, Sarepka wants that one back, but that's what I was talking about with Reina Reyes. If she could get a little bit closer, really draw, commit the goalkeeper, find a way to get into that 6-yard box, there's going to be those seams that open up. And here you can see Riley Tanner take some great touches forward towards the net, slides that little ball back. I think Sarepka might have been in a little bit too close and then just couldn't get her hips over it, but great opportunity from Alabama. But you're right, Gray. Jackson State has been playing some great defense. They don't look nervy. You know, if anything, they're getting forward in the attack. They're finding the switch. You know, so it should be for an exciting game because they like to get forward. They like their defenders to get up into the attack just like Alabama. So we're going to see, I think, a lot of risk-taking this game on both sides.
See if Alabama can find something here. Knox looking ahead. Here's Sarepka. Tanner. And again, Jackson State is there.
Yeah, Kyla Sands, I think number 8 for Jack State, coming over to help out Sydney Wilson. You can see this back line for Jackson State are just, you know, very in tune with one another.
Taylor comes to get it. Tiana Taylor was also SWAC All-Tournament team. Again, as we mentioned earlier, Jackson State won the SWAC Conference Tournament in dramatic fashion. Some late goals by Grambling forced overtime, including one literally as the buzzer sounded.
I mean, I was having anxiety watching that on the replay. But, you know, they calmed down, they collected themselves in the overtime, and they handled their business.
Yeah, that was something Coach Flagaitis said to us, that for a moment they were angry about what happened, and then everybody said, you know what, we'll just go out and win anyway, and they did with a couple goals in that 4-2 overtime win.
Some physical play on the ball at midfield. That's a great ball from Macy Clem, finding the foot of Riley Tanner.
Here comes Tanner. And again, well defended by Jackson State, but this will be a corner for Alabama.
Now, you're just talking about Grambling State coming back. You know, where they came back and scored those 2 late goals were off corner kicks. Alabama is very, very dangerous on their corner kicks, their set pieces. So Jackson State really has to hunker down and handle their business inside the 6-yard box.
Knox will take it. Sent in backside. Nothing there in the immediate. Another ball in from Knox, and there's Parker. Just wide and some bit high, but Parker had a look.
Yeah, that was a great timing. Got a little bit under the ball, but you know, that first ball from the back post from Felicia Knox to Macy Clem, the redirect was a little bit far, but Alabama did a nice job to recycle and find Riley Parker, where she's so dangerous, just hanging around that 6-yard box.
What a season it's been for Riley Parker, SEC Forward of the Year, Scholar Athlete of the Year, 14 goals. 1 away from tying the Alabama single season record, and doing it all after missing last season with an ACL injury.
Yeah, it's like she had some of her scoring capabilities, all that energy from last season, just combining it all into one. It's been absolutely outstanding.
Here's Sarepka.
Looks like they're going to call an offside there with Ashlyn Sarepka. The lines official was right there, had a good look on it. Sarepka must have just had 1 or 2 steps past that defender.
About a third of the way through the first half. Still scoreless. Here comes Sarepka. Up ahead, Tanner, a good look. Ball still loose. There's Parker to clean it up.
And you hear the roar of that crowd. Alabama those fans are so excited. You could feel it coming. Alabama was putting together some really great passes, some nice combination play. Those two players, Riley Parker and Riley Tanner, when they get together up and around that 18-yard box, it is chaos. And we see now why. Yeah, it was a great ball that was just slid through to Riley Tanner, being so creative in the box, created a lot of distractions for the Jackson State defenders, made it difficult for Tiana Taylor to figure out where that ball was going to be. And Riley Parker made no mistake. She absolutely buried that ball.
We mentioned it a few moments ago. Riley Parker needed one goal to tie the Alabama single season record, and she's done just that. 15 goals this year, tying her with Libby Probst back in '05. And one would think Riley Parker's not done yet.
No, and you know what, if you ask Riley Parker, that is the last thing that's probably on her mind. She is, all about the team, puts the team above herself, but probably when she's thinking about it, it's a pretty great feat.
Her 15th goal of the season, first of the tournament.
Here's Knox. Quickly, another chance for Alabama. Sarepka couldn't quite get there, and Jackson State dodges a bullet.
Ayanna Pinder, number 2 for Jackson State. That was an immaculately timed tackle. If she missed, it would have been all over. Ashlyn Sarepka was just on that ball, but a great time tackle there. No wonder why she's first team all honors for the SWAC.
Well, she'll have to get back to work. Here comes Knox. Sarepka, she's got a great look. Sarepka's got one. 2-0 Alabama.
And she makes no mistake on that one. She got denied moments ago, but she won't be denied this time. And it's almost like a little bit of a weight has been lifted off of Alabama's shoulders. They got one, and that second one's not far behind. And of course, it's coming from Felicia Knox, the queen of assists herself. And Sarepka, all smiles. She was not going to miss that ball. Beautifully placed, clinical finish. Tiana Taylor, no chance.
What a minute and a half for Alabama. 2-0. Very, very quickly. And as you mentioned it, the assist by Felicia Knox. She already led the country in that mark, and maybe she wants one more. Here's Tanner.
Jackson State had done such a good job matching Alabama's pace, defending well. They've just got to take, I think, a couple of moments just to compose themselves. Alabama is going to keep firing on all cylinders, but they've done such a good job initially. But matching that intensity minute after minute is a challenge, no doubt.
Tanner couldn't handle that one. Yeah, you could just feel both teams kind of feeling each other out. Alabama had a couple looks, couldn't quite connect, but then in the span of a minute, 2 very quick goals. Here's Parker. Well defended by the Tigers. Here's Skorka. Sarepka, after some nice hustle. Skorka looking.
Good defending by Pinder.
Knocked away. I think it was Sarepka that knocked it back. And again, good defense by Jackson State. Well, what a year it's been for Alabama, and for that man, the SEC Coach of the Year, Wes Hart, 8th season in Tuscaloosa with the Crimson Tide. We talked to him this week about this team and just the feeling that he had seeing Alabama's name pop up next to the 1 during the bracket release show. And he said just how proud and thrilled he was of the players, of the program, of everything that they'd accomplished.
Yeah, and, you know, I kind of liked his answer. He said he felt a bit of relief, too. You know, they did not win in the SEC finals, you know, dropped that game to South Carolina, but felt so good that his team was being rewarded with, you know, what has been nothing short of an incredible season. And so, you know, to have that relief, to see the team so excited, you know, that turnaround time was fast in terms of being able to bounce back, and he was happy to see that for his team. Just, it's been a long time coming. It's been a journey. Of course, he wanted to probably get there sooner, but all the hard work, all the buy-in from the players, it's all paid off, and such a great feeling for him and the program.
You know, we talked about that journey as well, because again, 8 years, that's a long time. Alabama has hit that 1 seed mark. They were at one time ranked #1 in the country this year, and they've been hovering around there pretty much all season. But it wasn't easy early on, and Coach Hart talked about the patience required by the coaches, by the players, by the administration, and all of that has paid off here this season.
Yeah, it's paid off big time.
And a foul called.
Yeah, hard physical play there by number 23, Annalise Brunson. She's been going toe-to-toe, step to step with Riley Tanner out there on the flank, and just a little too much body, not enough ball this time. But she's done really well to break up that play and not make it easy for Tanner out on the flank.
So Alabama will get a look here. Already up 2-0. Knox. Ball in, and Taylor knocks it away.
Wow, what a big save by Tiana Taylor. We've seen Knox score from those set pieces from that distance, and it looked like that was going to sneak right under the crossbar unless Tiana Taylor got a finger on it, a hand on it, and she did just that. Big save for Tiana Taylor.
Yeah, Ted Flagatis talked about how she's just gotten better and better as the season has gone on. Rogers, that one was ricocheted. And a good job by the Tigers clearing it. Sasha Pickard looking in.
Oh, and here are the wheels out on the flank for Jackson State, number 22. Maya Joy Thompson, just so fast.
And Terrell was trying to find somebody, but Thompson wasn't home. And Maya Joy Thompson, along with her sister Marley Thompson, on this Jackson State team.
Pretty amazing to be able to say you're playing D1 soccer with your sister, and you know, both players are so talented. One more on the offensive side. You know, Marley back on that line.
Here's Reyes once again. Now Tanner, right back to Reyes. A good chance knocked away by Jackson State.
Yeah, good defending there by Jackson State. You can see Tanner and Reyes combining really well on that left side. Reyes feeling free to join the attack and get in there, playing a little bit more offensive-minded. And why not? She's had such a stellar season. She likes to get up and join the attack, and she's doing that tonight. Able to get a corner kick.
You see it right there. This will be the 3rd corner for Alabama in the match thus far. And it's Felicia Knox. Ball in from Knox. Some chaos in the box. Rogers gets it to go.
Rogers, what a finish there. Cleaned up what Jackson State was not able to. And again, just such a well-placed ball. There is no chance for Tiana Taylor. There was traffic in the box, and Rogers put that top-notch upper corner just below that crossbar. Second goal of the season for Rogers, and why not wait till your first game of the NCAA tournament? You can see not able to clear that ball, and Kat Rogers says, thank you very much. I'll handle that from here.
Second goal this season, as you said, 9th in the career of Kat Rogers. Assist goes to Brooke Steer. And Alabama has come out and looked like a 1 seed here in this first half.
And I think that was really important for Alabama to make sure that they were able to play like a number 1 seed and do that at home in front of this crowd.
Alabama goal by number 15, Kat Rogers. Her second goal of the season, first of the tournament. Assisted by number 3, Brooke Steer.
So Haley, this flurry for Alabama has all come in the last 10 minutes. What are you doing if you're Jackson State to try and settle things down?
You know, it's difficult because Alabama is a well-coached team. They are a well-oiled machine. They've been doing this a long time, and they've been dominating all season. So it's going to be really difficult to continue to defend a team like Alabama. But, you know, if you're Jackson State, you got to remember who you are, right? Play to your strengths. Don't get sort of lost in this game and just become a team of chasing. You know, try to put that ball on the ground, keep possession, and work it around. And, you know, I think watching Jackson State, they're going to play with a lot of heart. They're going to play with a lot of grit. I don't think you're going to see them, you know, stop pushing this entire game. That's not their mentality. That's not their character. But they've got to be able to keep the ball when they go forward, create some better outlet passes. They don't want to be chasing all game.
Well, they're chasing right now as Alabama continues to possess. Rogers, another look, and that's saved by Taylor. A huge stop for Tiana Taylor.
Yeah, big stop for Tiana Taylor. I will say, if Jackson State can clean up some of their clearances, that will be better, you know, for them. They're just not doing a great job on that first ball and giving up that bouncing ball in and around the 18, making their goalkeeper, you know, make those outstanding saves.
And already, again, more pressure from Alabama. Whistle blown, foul called.
Yeah, Sarepka did well to keep that ball turn and go forward, you know, drawing 2-3 Jackson State players. And again, dangerous position for Alabama. They can shoot, they can score from this distance.
Foul was called on Kiana Tulloch. And here's Knox yet again. Knox sends it forward, and Taylor is there.
Yeah, even though that looks like a routine play there, you know, Taylor's got a lot of things to watch. She's got players crashing the net. She's got her own players to watch, but she does really well to meet that ball in the air and hold on to it, making sure there is no rebound for an Alabama player.
And we'll see if Jackson State can mount an attack. Taken away by the Tide. Here's Tanner. Tanner looking forward, knocked away. And a quick whistle, foul on Rogers.
Yep, good battle out there. Again, number 14, Sydney Wilson for Jackson State. You know, just been so solid for her back line, for the defending efforts of Jackson State so far. Has won some really big individual battles.
There you see Wilson, the senior from Decatur, Georgia. SWAC Defensive Player of the Year, second team all-conference. Rogers ahead to Sarepka. No whistle.
You know, the referee's doing a nice job, you know, allowing the ladies to play. It is a physical game, but this is a physical game. You know, and so I think he's doing a good job of letting those things go. You don't want to be throwing out tons of cards, lots of whistles in that first half.
Wes Cowett, the referee tonight, and especially in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, let the teams play. They've worked so hard to get here. Just, you know, let them play.
Here comes Knox. And again, well defended by Jackson State. Up ahead, Rogers. Rogers looking, but no window. Reyes now. Tanner. And Tanner has it swiped, but Knox is there to help out. Tanner again sends it forward. Now Rogers.
Yeah, Alabama showing really good patience here.
Rogers up ahead, but again knocked away by Jackson State. And now Taylor has to come forward and help out. Skorka. And Haley, that just seems to be the issue. Jackson State is just having a lot of trouble clearing it out.
Yeah, you know, they're doing a pretty good job of being patient, but, you know, it's difficult when you're on the run to get your body well positioned, to get your hips squared up, to get that leg where you need it to be. And so if they can shift a little bit sooner, if they can anticipate a little bit better, they'll probably be able to get their body in a position where they can get a foot behind it and get some clearance. But, you know, all credit to Jackson State. Playing against Alabama is hard. It's really hard. And so, you know, the fact that they're able to fall back, hold some of that shape, you know, prevent Alabama from being able to get in and create in the box, you know, that's commendable.
You see the substitutions rolling in. The SEC Freshman of the Year, Gianna Paul, now on the pitch, as is Aislinn Streisik.
Yeah, and it's going to be a quick foul, I think, against Gianna Paul. I think that was a tackle on number 2, Ayana Pinder. So a little late maybe on Paul's part. So we're going to have a set piece.
Here's perhaps a look for Jackson State.
Yes, this is one of the substitutes that came in a little bit earlier, Kiana Tulloch. And she's fast. She's crafty. She brings up a lot of energy. So if Jackson State can combine a couple of passes and get the ball upfield, you know, maybe some individual effort from her, she could be quite dangerous.
Yeah, some other Tigers coming in. Ann Schulte, Alexis Sanchez, Harper Bennett. Sydney Wilson throws it in. And a foul called on the Tigers as Tanner hits the deck. That one against Sanchez.
Yeah, and Riley Tanner, you know, one of the best in terms of getting that ball and immediately going forward, but not just in a straight line, putting herself between that player and the ball, forcing you to make a play on her. It's, I mean, I haven't seen somebody who has mastered that movement as well as Riley Tanner. It's, as a defender, I would absolutely hate to mark her.
That one cleared by Jackson State for a moment, but still some danger. Reyes, and Taylor knocks it away.
Yeah, that was a cheeky little pass by Aislinn Stryzik, able to find Reyes on the run.
Alabama with 3 goals in a 10-minute span. A bit ago, Parker, Sarepka, Rogers. 3-0 your score as we near halftime. Knox, a long take out wide. And the foul called on Alabama. That was Sydney Yapich, the freshman, who's just checked in. Allie Burke also on for Alabama.
I think it was a little soft, but now looking at the replay, I think it was that outstretched arm that just, you know, away from the body, sort of unnatural position, just prevented Tulloch from getting around her.
Here comes Gianna Paul, SEC Freshman of the Year, going on quite a run. Now Tanner. And nothing doing for Alabama.
You know, number 6, Marley Thompson did such a great job of tracking back with Gianna Paul, was patient, was able to get a foot in, you know, not allow her to continue her run into the box. But again, Jackson State just couldn't clear that well.
Now here comes Pinder. Schulte sends it forward. Was looking for a order.
Yeah, and that was the right series of play. Great overlapping run. Pinder taking space.
Here's Paul. Gianna Paul has it knocked away. Fantastic defense by the Tigers. Now Skorka. Sent forward, and Taylor watches it go off the post.
Wow, that was just inches away. You see Felicia Knox sliding for that ball on the back post.
Once again, here's Tanner. Nice move. Skorka too high.
Yeah, so Aislinn Stryzik does such a good job of keeping that ball in, and then, you know, as her body's moving away from the ball, she cuts it back across her body. Felicia Knox just could not get there, and then again we see Riley Tanner doing work, taking it to that line and cutting it back, and Skorka's been an excellent outlet, and then also a really, you know, impressive offensive-minded player coming up and not able to get quite the dip on the ball she wanted.
And again, a threat for Alabama. That's knocked away by Pinder. We were talking earlier in the week, Jessica Skorka, the junior from Plano, Texas, doesn't quite get the publicity that she probably deserves, but she has been just phenomenal for West Hart this year.
Oh yeah, 2 goals, 6 assists. The amount of miles she runs in a game up and down that flank, just tremendous. You know, her, Reina Reyes, you know, just taking up space and just running all game long. You know, but they're able to move forward and take that space because they know that their 2 center backs, along with their goalkeeper, have got them. You know, it's this trust. It's just very fluid for Alabama, and it just works. It plays so well to the players' strengths.
Little over 7 minutes until halftime. We'll see if Jackson State can mount something before the break. Taken away by Bennett. Allie Burke. And maybe a chance here for Jackson State. Crone with the save.
Yaira Aorta doing fantastic work, that individual effort, you know, making something out of nothing and forcing McKinley Crone to make a big play on that. You know, Sasha Pickard, uncharacteristic, goes down, and then Yaira Aorta able to get around and put a nice ball on frame. And if you're Jackson State, that's got to be something that really lifts you and gives you some confidence.
The physical play continues. Yeah, it was a great look for Aorta. From Ghana, transfer from Pearl River Community College. And again, some trouble clearing. Here's Burke. And a goal kick for Jackson State.
Entering the game for the Crimson Tide, number 20, Karis Hall, replacing Ray Felicia.
Another substitution for West Hart. The sophomore, Karis Hall, checking in. Just 7 games played this year for Hall, coming in for Felicia Knox, but getting a chance here in the NCAA tournament. Gianna Paul, some nifty footwork, and Alabama will have a corner.
Alabama.
No, great work there by Gianna Paul, but again, being marked so tightly, that 1v1 battle between, you know, her and that Jackson State defender. I believe it might have been number 22, Maya Joy Thompson, but you know, just going to work, not making it easy for her, but Alabama able to get the corner kick.
Skorka forward, and the header is wide.
Yeah, Brooke Steer, a great target. She's always up on the corner kick. She's got great physical presence, great size. Not able to get that ball in frame.
Brooke Steer, the sophomore from Dexter, Michigan. Wes Hart has talked about how impressed he's been with her performance this year, being kind of forced into the defensive duties. And she has been a consistent force on that side all season long.
Yeah, and you know, she missed all of last season due to injury, and so she's actually been named to the all-freshman SAC team along with Gianna Paul. You know, again, because she's just done such a fantastic job this season as an impromptu center back. It looks like she's played it all her life, to be honest.
Yeah, no Tana Sanchez-Corretto for Alabama this year, no Bella Scaturo. 2 starters from last season, but Alabama hasn't missed a beat on the defensive side. Yapich up ahead. A good look for the Tide, perhaps. And a corner upcoming.
Aislinn Stryzik, sophomore from British Columbia, Canada, really crafty when she gets that ball at her feet. She can move so quickly. Great distributor, but also can put that ball on frame.
Stryzik into the box. Here's Paul. And knocked away. A hefty number of Canadians participating in tonight's match.
Yes, yes, from opposite coasts. So British Columbia, then, you know, 6 to 7 players on, you know, Jackson State's team from Ontario in and around the Toronto area. I'm from around that area, so T-Dot represent. But it's great to see, and honestly, as international players, you just want to keep playing. And so to come to the U.S. and, you know, go to school and play soccer, it's a great opportunity.
Bunch of Canadians on the pitch, one in the booth.
We're everywhere.
That's Haley McDonald. I'm Gray Robertson, watching this first round match between Alabama and Jackson State. The header will go wide for the Crimson Tide, but again, just constant pressure by Alabama offensively.
Yeah, and I think that was Sydney Vincennes for Alabama, another tall target player. Plays some really quality minutes when she gets in the pitch. She's plays high. Great outlet pass, but also, because of her size, dangerous on set pieces.
Yapich up ahead. Alabama will look for a little bit more. Just over a minute until halftime. Paul. That's knocked away.
And that battle continues, and you know, it wasn't Maya Joy Thompson, it was the freshman Jordan Smith, number 17, going to battle with Gianna Paul, just doing such a great job all night long.
Here's Burke. Stryzik. And a nice job by Taylor to get there and make sure Alabama wouldn't have another corner, although apparently she didn't in time. The Tide will have a corner.
Yeah, she put in some great effort to try to keep that ball from going out as a corner.
Clock ticking. Reyes will send it in. Up ahead. And knocked away. And that'll be the first half. The Tide looking very strong with 3 goals in the first 45 minutes as the 1 seed plays like it to start off the first round.
You're not a number 1 seed by just scoring, you know, 1 goal, 2 goals. You know, you've got to dominate the performance, and so Alabama's just got to keep that up as they go into the second half.
And for Jackson State and their head coach, Ted Fligaitis, you've got to think that they want us calling Annalise Brunson's name a lot more here in the second half.
Yeah, they probably want us calling her name. Certainly number 9, Kendall Terrell, you know, some of their other offensive players. You know, I think if they can connect some passes, like I mentioned before, put that ball on the ground, keep the ball, you know, give them some time to move it, you know, that will build confidence. It'll also give them some time to regroup because chasing is hard. Chasing takes a lot of energy, but they're not giving themselves many chances to do that. So if they can, you know, focus on that, I think they'll have some better opportunities that come from it.
Already a chance here for Alabama. Sarepka deflected off of Taylor. Nice job coming off her line. And a bullet dodge for Jackson State immediately out of a locker room.
Yeah, and that's the effort that Coach Hart is talking about from his team. And Ashlyn Sarepka, the senior, knows that, you know, better than others. But what a fantastic save by Tiana Taylor. Just did so good to come off her line, to be brave, to meet that ball and give Ashlyn Sarepka, you know, far less of the net. That was really huge to start the half. You know, couldn't have done anything bigger for her team at that moment.
Bit of a collision there, no whistle. Here comes Sage Magruder. And there's a whistle on the foul.
I think that's going to be Macy Clem who got tangled up there with Sage Magruder, number 5. a great little player, you know, good technical ability, good vision. You know, the midfield was sort of bypassed in the first half. So I think, again, if Jackson State can get the ball on the ground and play through her, there's going to be better connection front to back, and they'll get some better opportunities.
Up ahead, and Crone has to knock it back. That one just got closer and closer, but Crone is there.
I mean, we've talked about this earlier. Kendall Terrell, number 9 for Jackson State. I mean, what an absolute rocket of a leg. You know, she scored such a fantastic goal in the SWAC tournament. It was from a closer range, but hit with so much pace. And now she's showing, you know, just how much strength she has. But not only that, but the accuracy. I mean, what a great effort, and from such a distance.
Yeah, Kendall Terrell. We circled her, we highlighted her coming into this matchup. She almost made one of the most spectacular goals you'll see anywhere here in the NCAA tournament. Junior from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. But now again, the Tigers on the defensive. Tanner stopped by Taylor yet again.
Yeah, I'm noticing, you know, Taylor is coming out a little bit more rather than staying home, and I wonder if that was a discussion she had with her coaches at half, because she's doing a much better job of cutting down some of those angles. You know, Tanner's so good. She takes that turn and, you know, put it right at the goalkeeper. But again, Tiana Taylor came out to create, you know, make herself a little bit bigger, take up some of that net.
Here come the Tigers, and Crone will scoop it up after the shot attempt from Maya Joy Thompson.
Yeah, Maya Joy Thompson, she'll want that one back. You know, I think she had a little bit more time than she probably thought, but, you know, all she probably saw were the white jerseys closing in around her. But again, really positive to see that the ball is getting up into the attacking third. They're getting shots off on Crone.
Already a very active second half. Here comes Felicia Knox. And again, the defense there for Jackson State.
Yeah, Sydney Wilson again coming across, that senior and SWAC Defender of the Year. She's just been so important for this back line.
Sarepka. Parker couldn't corral it.
There's the freshman Jordan Smith, number 17, coming up big.
And now a takeaway. Magruder looking forward.
Yeah, that was a great job by Magruder to hold that ball up, give her teammates a chance to get forward and help her.
Thompson. And that's cleaned up by Alabama on defense. Looking for Terrell. Tanner. And Sarepka can't control it. Booted away by Brunson. Here's Parker, Riley Parker, easy as it gets. 2 goals tonight.
And she is all smiles on that one. The little tic-tac-toe passing between, you know, Parker and Felicia Knox is just unreal. There's their little dance. And, you know, she just is so cool, calm, and collected as she's going 1v1 with Tiana Taylor. You know, makes Taylor commit, and then she walks around her and is able to put it in the ball. Great finish, great individual effort there, and this is, again, why she is the SEC Forward of the Year. But the vision from Felicia Knox to able to pick her out in that small space, and then Parker just looking so effortless. Clinical finish, perfect, perfect, perfect.
After Parker earlier tied the Alabama single-season record in goals. Now she breaks the mark held by Libby Probst from 2005. And with the assist, Felicia Knox now has 2 tonight. That ties her for the most in career history for Alabama.
And she still has at least 1 more year, maybe even 2 of eligibility left. I mean, she's just been absolutely on fire for Alabama.
Yeah, I would feel fairly confident that record will belong to Felicia Knox by the time she's done.
And I'm sure nobody will touch it for many years after.
Rogers forward, a chance that goes wide.
Yeah, Taylor does a really nice job of coming off her line. Looks like some physical play there between her and Sarepka. You could see Taylor's arms outstretched, wanting the referee to give a call there.
Ooh, Reyes trying to get past a couple defenders there.
Reyes in that 6-yard box is so dangerous. But, you know, she's definitely getting up and joining the attack.
Four 4-0 your score. 3 goals in the first half for Alabama. 1 quickly here in the second by Riley Parker. Who else? Maybe another for Parker? No, she gives it off to Knox, who finishes it.
All smiles there for Alabama. You can't think of somebody who works harder than Felicia Knox. And again, so selfless in her ability to set her teammates up. Feels good to be able to work that ball around, hold that ball up. She does such a good job of holding off Sydney Wilson, finding Felicia Knox as she gets into space. Again, just outside that 6-yard box. Able to place it with the instep of her foot, just perfect.
Those two have been incredible all year long, but the chemistry has been on display here in the second half. 2 goals already in the last 8 minutes. 1 from Parker, assist by Knox. The other scored by Knox, assist by Parker.
Just like that. You know, and to Jackson State's credit, they've been doing a heck of a job on defense. But Alabama this year is one of the best teams, in my opinion, in terms of being able to work that ball around in tight spaces. I don't know if I've seen a team that really does it better consistently, time and time again. And so it is just so difficult to defend.
See if Jackson State can counter. The deficit has gotten larger since the start of this second half, and the chances have been few and far between here tonight. But back to your point, Haley, it wasn't long ago when Alabama would score a goal and then just sit on it and not try and push. But this year, we have seen this offense just continue to attack and to push and provide pressure on the opposing defense, and it's why they're the 1 seed.
Yeah, and I think they're just having a lot of fun doing it. You can see that they're really free in their movements. They're being really creative. A lot of this cannot be scripted, and so it just shows that you know, they're just relying on their instincts, and Coach Hart has given them the freedom and the go-ahead to do it.
Oh, here's Parker again. No, knocked away. Tanner can't get there.
Yeah, well defended there by Jackson State's defensive 4. They have certainly been very, very busy tonight, and it could be a much higher score if they weren't as efficient as that unit back there.
Yeah, Alabama has 5 goals, but Tiana Taylor also has 5 saves. Riley Tanner. And a goal kick for the Tigers. Couple substitutions in for Jackson State. Kalia Uwara has entered. Olivia Cobb also back on. And Haley, no matter what happens tonight, and Alabama certainly looking in control right now. This is valuable experience for Jackson State going forward into next year.
Absolutely.
Hard tackle there, and the foul will go against the Tigers.
Yeah, you know, nothing malicious there. You know, Kat Rogers just does a really good job of taking that big touch to get past. And, you know, number 16, Olivia Cobb, is just a little bit late, you know, unable to make a play on the ball.
Coach Fulagaida has talked about Cobb, the sophomore, being one of those players that might not show up a ton in the stat sheet and the box score, but her contributions have been huge all year long. Chance for Alabama, Knox, and Taylor is there.
Yeah, Taylor reads that really well coming out, not allowing that near post run where it looked like Parker was trying to make a go for it.
That was almost an opportunity for Brunson, but couldn't quite collect the pass that came in from Uwara.
You know, and to your point earlier about, you know, what this means for Jackson State's program, you know, talking with Coach Flagaitis, you know, every time they put on their jersey, they're playing for the respect of their school, their program, their teammates. And so, yes, this is a huge step forward for their program, but certainly something that they have worked for and wanted since day one. You know, since they were willing to buy into the coaching changes and the changes in the culture, and they worked so hard to establish it. And as I mentioned, you know, they've got really skillful players. The SEC is just, you can see the differences in the speed of play, the physicality, but you know, Jackson State has done really well to try to match that intensity with Alabama, and they've done a commendable job so far.
Yeah, Coach Flagaitis has put this program in a really, really strong position. Jackson State, as we've talked about, regular season and tournament champions in the SWAC.
Yeah, and a host of individual accolades. I mean, this is a good team, a solid team, and they've demonstrated that in their conference play.
Alabama, though, has been too much for the first half and about 15 minutes since the break. 5-0 your score, and Alabama looking for more. Reyes can't fight her way through, although a foul is called on Jackson State. Alabama moving quickly. Reyes, yes!
Reyes gets that goal she has been looking for. She has been hunting for it all game long. But again, it goes to the quick thoughts there from Felicia Knox to play that ball quickly, you know, to take advantage, not set that ball up. Reina Reyes continues her run into the box and is able to get a leg on it and redirect it past the goalkeeper. You know, it almost looks like a fake play. Everybody's waiting for her to put the ball in, but, you know, Tanner doing a great job like she's been doing, great service from the touchline, and Reina Reyes able to redirect.
7th goal this season for Reina Reyes, 15 in her Alabama career. And you can hear the party starting at the Alabama Soccer Complex. 6-0 your score, about a third of the way through the second half. Can Jackson State find something? Here's Uwara. And Alabama again is there. Gianna Paul just checked in, and here she is. Up ahead to Streisig.
Assisted by number 12, Riley Tanner, and number 8, Felicia Knox.
Good battle again between Gianna Paul and number 14, Sydney Wilson. Sydney Wilson just playing such tough defense, and you know, Gianna Paul is not an easy player to mark, and she's done a great job so far tonight.
And we should note as well, on that goal by Reyes, Tanner got the assist, but so did Knox. So Felicia Knox with 3 assists tonight. She was already leading the country in that category. Paul whips one in, but it's wide. And a player down for Jackson State.
Looks like that's Shantae Blackwood. I don't know if she caught a little bit of Gianna Paul's foot as with the follow through from the shot, if she was sliding to try to get in front of it and block it and just got caught.
Shantae Blackwood, a very talented freshman on this team. Fort Lauderdale, Florida native, was second team all SWAC this past season. There you see the athletic training staff checking on Blackwood, and certainly this is something you don't want to see.
But it is a good sign to see her, you know, Shantae sitting up on her own volition, of course needing a little bit of help. Anytime you get some contact with the cleat to the head or the face, you want to be very, very careful. And as a player, that hurts a lot. Excellent to see her on her feet.
Yeah, we talked about how this program has a very bright future at Jackson State. Blackwood absolutely a part of that. As you can see her try and get her bearings.
Entering the game for the Tigers, number 21, Bryn Walker, replacing number 26, Shantae Blackwood. Entering the game for the Crimson Tide, number 24, Sydney Yopick, and number 25, Allie Burt, replacing number 3, Brooke Steele, and number 15, Kat Rogers.
Bryn Walker will come in for Blackwood. Alabama bringing back in Yapich and Burke as well. And we certainly hope that Blackwood is okay. There you see Bryn Walker, the senior, in for Blackwood. Wichita, Kansas native, was also second team all SWAC. As now everybody will just try and get immediately back into the action after that injury to Shantae Blackwood. Alabama wasting no time. Serepka up ahead to Paul. Gianna Paul. There it is. The freshman makes it 7-0.
Not to say that I was waiting for Gianna Paul to put a mark on this game, but she does it in so many ways. But freshman of the year, she has been making some dangerous runs tonight, creating a lot of havoc in the box. Hadn't been able to get a good look on net until that ball from Ashlyn Serepka. And as she usually does, just buries it. I mean, she's just so fast. Great pace on the ball. A beautiful ball in from Sorepka. Hits her right on stride. And Gianna Paul makes no mistake. That ball hit beautifully to the corner.
You see it right there. 7th goal this season for Gianna Paul. That seemed to really be the only thing missing from the stat sheet. And again, Alabama on the offensive.
First in the tournament, assisted by number 19, Ashlyn Sorepka.
Paul lets that one through. Here's Streisik, and Streisik can't direct that properly.
Yeah, it was a cheeky little move there by Gianna Paul, letting that ball run through her legs, looking for Aislinn Streisik on the backside, but Aislinn Streisik being marked really tightly there by, I believe it was number 14, Sydney Wilson. You know, not falling for that play, making it real difficult, not allowing her to have a look out goal.
Well, here comes Alabama again. Knox up ahead, looking for Paul. Knocked away by Jordan Smith, the SWAC tournament MVP. Booted away by Tiana Taylor. These two programs have met one time before. That was back in 2002. Alabama won that match 20-0. Most goals scored by Alabama in a match in program history. They've got a long way to go to get that tonight, but a very impressive performance by the 1 seed so far this evening.
Yeah, they're playing like a 1 seed, and I think that's really important for Alabama, you know, to do, especially at home in front of their crowd. You know, really, you know, show the country this is who we are and this is what we can do. And it's probably got to feel really good for Alabama, especially losing to South Carolina in the championship game down in Pensacola. You know, they looked a little fatigued, and rightfully so. That was a lot of games in close proximity, more so than they had experienced all season. And they had had such an amazing season so far. It would have been just a great way to end it. So this has got to feel good to be able to showcase, you know, what they're capable of and what they do.
And of course, as well, just taking care of business, barring a miraculous comeback here by Jackson State. Alabama will have done what 1 seeds do every year in this tournament since 2006, the last time a 1 seed lost. We saw earlier today Florida State have some trouble with Florida Gulf Coast. The Seminoles, another 1 seed, won 3-0, but that was 0-0 at halftime. And Alabama certainly did not want to leave any doubt tonight, and thus far they have not.
No, you are correct on that one. There's no doubt who the number 1 seed is in this match.
Here's Sorepka. Nice touch by Paul. Streisik now. Streisik looking. Streisik in and knocked away. Clem forward. Here's Streisik. What a move, Streisik, but it stopped.
And that's that fancy footwork I'm talking about with Aislinn Streisik. I mean, everybody probably thought that ball was going out, but she's just so quick. And I mean, just the ability for her to move that ball and create space and create some chances when there are none, pretty impressive. Really unlucky on that one.
And just to highlight the depth Westhart has talked about all year long, she's coming off the bench.
I know. My old teammates and I often joke that the bench is not even long enough for any of us to make it on there anymore. I mean, it's really amazing to have such a strong you know, first, second, third, you know, line of substitutes. Alabama's a really special squad this year.
And looking for more, leading at 7-0. Streisig, perhaps some redemption. Streisig, that's over Taylor and through.
She wanted that one, and I think her teammates wanted her to have that too. She's been so dangerous when she's gotten on the pitch, you know, really commanding that flank, and she's been sort of selfless in her ability to distribute. And so she took that ball and she got that goal. She got that look and placed it so perfectly under the crossbar. But in another great ball from Sarepka, and then I think back from Knox. And then Streisig able to put that one away. Excuse me, not from Knox. I think it was Allie Burke that was able to play that ball back to her.
That's the second goal of the season for the sophomore Streisig. Her first came all the way back in August against Southern Miss. And as you talked about, Haley, you could tell she wanted that after missing that chance a moment before. She was taking that all the way.
Yeah, she had been dangerous. She created some really good opportunities. She'd, you know, been in the mix, dangerous in that final third. So it was a matter of time.
Here's Streisig again. That one swiped by Sydney Wilson. Sasha Pickard, second team All-SEC, sends it up ahead.
That was a perfectly paced ball to Sydney Vincennes' head.
Paul gets through unscathed. So glad you're with us here at the Alabama Soccer Complex. Gray Robertson alongside Haley McDonald. The first time Alabama has hosted an NCAA tournament game in program history, a 1 seed for the first time in program history. And they have shown up tonight. 8-0, 3 goals in the first half, 5 already here in the second. Jackson State trying to counter. Alexis Sanchez can't connect.
She got a goal in the SWAC tournament, not quite from that distance, but out from working on the flank. So we know number 7, Sanchez, is comfortable taking those shots. But, you know, to beat someone like McKinley Crone, you've got to get closer, make her work for it.
Speaking of working, Gianna Paul with an attempt there that ricochets off a defender. Bit of contact there. Emily Kobler, who just checked in.
I got tangled up there with number 19, Harper Bennett.
Yeah, multiple substitutions in for both teams. Alabama bringing in Kobler, Karis Hall, Sydney Vincennes. We mentioned Sanchez off the bench for Jackson State. They order in Bennett also back in the match. And Haley, I would be remiss too if I didn't mention what Wes Hart said about the defense, I feel like tonight is kind of the perfect encapsulation as Brooke Steer comes back in. You know, we talked about how the back line, the defense, they haven't gotten a ton of notoriety this year because of the amount of goals that Alabama has scored, because of the offensive threats. But tonight we have seen an Alabama defense that just will not give Jackson State any windows.
No, and I mean, that has been the storyline all year long. And you're exactly right. The reason that Alabama's offense can go forward and do what they do is because they know that they have a solid four-back, plus McKinley Chrome, you know, plus sometimes Macy Clem, that number 2 holding spot. And I mean, it gives the offense all the freedom, all the ease. They're not worried about one thing because they know that their back is covered and they can go run and play and make those runs and create that space without having to worry about tracking back with their players. So, you know, it's the perfect merriment, really. I mean, it's an offense that can't miss the net and a defense that won't let anybody into their 18-yard box.
And again, doing that without Sanchez Coretta, without Scaturo, pretty much all season. A very impressive year for the Alabama defensive side.
Yeah, great players that can execute, well-coached team. They've really trusted the process. They've all bought in. You know, if we ask Coach Hart, has it been a smooth process? Has it always been easy? Well, no, right? But, you know, you've got growing pains when you're, you know, completely changing a program and building a culture. You know, Coach Flagaitis is going through the same process. You know, it takes time to build a program, and Jackson State's been able to do it in a little bit of a quicker turnaround time. You know, but they certainly have their growing pains, and they're gonna, you know, go through that process as well.
Yeah, Wes Hart, Ted Flagaitis, these are two head coaches who are doing it the right way and doing it successfully, as there's a collision and a foul called on Alabama. Goes against Streisig. Karima Antonio Lopez gets it to Wilson. Lopez looking ahead. Can't find an alley. Now Pinder. They'll say last touch by the Tide. Brunson looking for Sanchez. Sanchez cleaned up by Alabama.
You know, that was a great ball to space. That was the right ball across the front of the goal.
There's a long shot, but would have been wide. Chrome was there anyway.
Yeah, Bryn Walker decided, why not? I'll put it up. But, you know, Sanchez did the right thing. Right ball, good ball across the face of goal. Just not enough of her teammates in there to connect.
Oh, here's Vincennes. A lot of room. Vincennes! Knocked away by Taylor.
Yeah, and I don't know if that would have stayed on frame. It looks almost a little too close to tell, but, you know, Taylor took no chances, got a glove on it, sent it above that post, but there was a great ball in from Karis Hall, the substitute that came off bench, and then to Sydney Vincennes, who's a big target player up front for the Tide, play some quality minutes when she gets in, and almost getting herself a goal.
Another corner upcoming for Alabama. A little bit of traffic, and Burke misses wide. Allie Burke had the game-winning goal last year in the NCAA tournament. That was the victory over Clemson, the first NCAA tournament win in program history for the Crimson Tide. Tonight has been much less stressful for Wes Hart.
Yes. I think this season in general, I mean, when we talk with Coach Hart, I always like his response that he's just trying not to intervene too much, because whatever they are doing, they being his team, it's working for him. And so, you know, he says this is certainly the year he's probably felt like he's been, you know, coaching or doing less, because the foundation has been laid and the players feel so confident in their abilities in one another. So not to say that it's been easy, but yes, it's certainly been, I think, a different experience in the round one of the NCAAs this year compared to last.
And this is an Alabama team that came in battle tested, a strong non-conference, and then playing in the SEC in a year where the conference tied for the most bids it's ever gotten with 9 into the NCAA tournament. Now, we've seen some of those results already come in here today, but just the turnaround for this Alabama program, you look at the first season versus this year, and I mean, the overall record obviously jumps off the page. The standing in the conference, the RPI is just ridiculous.
Insane. Yeah, it is. It's like a tale of two different teams, for sure. But yeah, to your point, Gray, I mean, Alabama has proved themselves time and time again. I mean, their out-of-conference schedule was a little nutty, but I mean, it just built so much confidence, and it really paid dividends and got them ready for SEC play. And the SEC's, all the teams just are competing at such a high level. It's really tremendous to see, but it certainly has put them in a position where they can go up against any team on any day and know that they can win.
You mentioned the nutty non-conference. I remember way back in September when we talked to Wes Hart ahead of a match against North Alabama. That was right after the trip out to Utah with road games against BYU, Utah, and Utah Valley. And, you know, we asked him, what do you think this trip accomplished? And he talked about the chemistry and the camaraderie, and clearly it worked. Whatever happened on that road trip, it changed something about this team. They were already pretty good up to that point, but they have been special these last few months.
Yeah, I think beating BYU at home, the national champion runner-ups, absolutely handling your business there, certainly did wonders for their confidence early on.
That looked like a chance for Jackson State, but some friendly fire on that collision gave it back to Alabama. Here's Paul. Taylor's down, but Alabama can't get a boot on it. Kobler to Streisig. Now Vincennes. And here's Kendall Terrell, the junior, who's going to be a big part of this team next season for sure in her senior year. And Jackson State will make a change in goal as Taylor checks out. Jordan Hamilton, the junior from Dallas, Texas, will now step in. Tough night for Taylor, certainly in terms of goals allowed, but she did make some spectacular saves this evening.
Absolutely. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, for Jackson State, you know, this should serve as all the motivation in the world to go back and train hard and dominate their conference again and make it back to a round 1.
Here's Paul again, a nifty move. Gianna Paul off the post. Here's Jackson State trying to counter. Terrell looking for Sanchez. This is a great look. Sanchez stopped by Crone.
That was a great ball from Terrell. You know, holding that ball, being patient, fighting the urge, probably to send it early. Sanchez making the run. Unable to get a good shot off net. But nonetheless, you know, that was the right play.
Hamilton stops that one. A fiery shot from Streisig.
I mean, and Hamilton made herself all 5-3 to get up there. Incredible to stay on that line and time it so well. That ball was dipping. Hamilton did a great job to anticipate that. It was not long before she was challenged, that's for sure.
"30 shots tonight for Alabama. 15 have been on goal. Corner chance. Hall looking for room, nothing there. And that's off the post.
I think they're going to say there was a touch on it last. So it looks like Alabama will get another corner kick. Ricocheted off that crossbar, but it must have got a touch on a Jackson State player before reaching that. But Terrell was able to meet that ball initially and get a head out, just unable to clear it.
Rogers boots it forward. Klim was there, but couldn't connect.
Yeah, that ball was hit with some great pace, just a little off with Macy Klim's header. If she had made contact, I think that would have been another goal. Alabama's just so dangerous on their set pieces, whether it's Kat Rogers, Felicia Knox, Aislinn Streisig. The service into the box is just tremendous.
It's been an impressive night, and the goals have come in bunches. In the first half, Alabama scored 3. They came in a 10-minute span. In the second half, 5 in a 15-minute span. Now the Crimson Tide looking for a little icing on the cake here in the final 10 minutes. Yapic. Karis Hall. Yapic again looking. Streisig has been spectacular, so has Paul. But Jackson State takes it away. Pinder was there. Rogers forward and just missed by Streisig. She had a look. Another look. That one's in. Alabama keeps piling it on as Kobler makes it 9-0.
You know, it all started, though, with Karis Hall, number 20, who ran that ball down to the touchline. She did not give up on that ball, and she played an impeccable ball across the face of goal. You see she picks up where Burke left off. Great service across the front of the net. And Emily Kobler, you know, first year she was here injured, hasn't had all the minutes in the world, but when she gets on the pitch, she makes it count. An absolute monster in front of the goal. When she gets a shot, she is sure to finish it.
Second goal of the season and the career for Emily Kobler, 9-0. What a night for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
And if you're Coach Hart, you've got to feel good to see, you know, the goal distribution. It makes you feel like you've got all the confidence in the world. You knew your team was good, but for them to play this way and to get to show off a little bit in front of their home crowd, first round of the tournament, nothing but confidence going into the second one.
Obviously still a lot of tournament left, but this is an Alabama team. As Streisig misses wide, corner upcoming, that alongside those 1 seeds, Florida State, Notre Dame, UCLA, a couple dangerous 2s like North Carolina and Duke, this is an Alabama team that has to be considered a contender to win the national championship this year.
Yeah, again, I would say that they've proved themselves, you know, time and time again. They've played some fantastic opponents, and they've done well.
Corner chance. Alabama trying to get cheeky, but clear by Jackson State. And I mentioned Haley just being a national championship contender. Alabama's got a 1 next to their name for a reason. Of course, it would be on that list, but for this program, this is just so new, and you've got so many classic soccer powers like Florida State, North Carolina, UCLA, all the contenders, and then you've got Alabama, who's basically one of the new kids on the block who has a real shot at this.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes you got to shake things up a little bit, and Alabama's been playing some good soccer for a long time. This year, though, everything is clicking, everything is firing on all cylinders, and so when that happens, you got to ride the wave, and this team is playing with so much confidence, you just can't stop them.
Rogers forward, and Hamilton is there. Alabama 4 minutes and change away from taking on the winner of Arizona State and Portland. Another look, but that one goes wide.
It's a rough little collision there. Fancy footwork by Sarepka. Looks like she gets tangled up in the legs, and then an awkward little fall. Both players look like they're up trying to shake it off. Those tackles hit a little different when there's about 3 minutes left.
Here's Rogers, 3.5 to go. Alabama closing in on the second NCAA tournament win in program history. Good idea from Vincennes, but booted away. One and 4 all time. That's Alabama's mark in the NCAA tournament. Wes Hart has been to the event twice. That 2017 loss at Clemson. The first win in program history came last year, again at Clemson, and Clemson fell earlier today to Vanderbilt. So a tough couple years for the Tigers hosting first-round matchups, but this is a team that this season has a shot to go very deep in this bracket. Nice ball up ahead. call, looking for Paul. And Haley, as we talked about earlier, for Jackson State, nothing to hang your head about tonight. Alabama has been just spectacular, but for Jackson State, they made a lot of good saves, some good plays, and this season has been one that this program sorely needed, and there's no sign of slowing down in the future for Coach Flagaitis.
No, you know, the first, probably half of the first half, they hung right with Alabama. They were doing a great job, and they were able to match them in terms of intensity, and they were able to, you know, battle. But you can only withstand, you know, that amount of pressure for so long. But they have absolutely, you know, played and made, you know, the program, the university, their coach very proud. And they've had a tremendous season. And so, you know, to chalk it up to a loss here at Alabama, that doesn't do them, you know, justice. They've had a great season.
Under a minute now. Alabama wanted a handball. Probably no reason to blow that whistle under a minute in a 9-0 match.
Yeah, and you know, the handball rule, it's supposed to be in an unnatural position away from your body, so there's always some subjectivity involved there. But yeah, probably no reason to give that one now.
Here's Paul. Can Alabama grab one more? A boot in from Paul.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
And Alabama will get a resounding first-round win to start off the 2022 NCAA tournament. 9-0 for the 1 seed over Jackson State.